Thank you. Please be seated. So tell you what, I can predict the future. I can see everything that's going to happen next year. You want to know how? I've got 20/20 vision.
Did you make that up?
I can't take all the credit.
Oh, okay. Well, it seems like we were just here yesterday. We were just here yesterday. But it's nice to see you all this morning, all bright-eyed and chipper. And we will begin with hymn number 4, the Groves House hymn, I Feel the Winds of God Today. Please stand. Thank you all. Please be seated. So I will be brief this morning. I want to talk about a topic, though, that is really very important to us, and I'm going to start with a little story. It's about a young person from rural Saskatchewan named Chuck. And many years ago, Chuck brought a horse from a farmer for $100. Obviously wasn't much of a horse. So the farmer agreed to deliver the horse the next day, but the following morning the farmer drove up to Chuck's house and said, "Sorry, son, but I have bad news. The horse died." Chuck replied, "Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but if you just give me my money back, we'll call it square." The farmer said, "Well, I can't do that, son. I've already spent the money." So Chuck said, "Well, okay, then bring me the dead horse." The farmer was obviously surprised by this, and he asked Chuck what he was going to do with the dead horse. Chuck said, "Never mind, just bring me the horse." A month later, the farmer met up with Chuck and asked him what he ended up doing with the horse corpse. "I auctioned it off," said Chuck. "You can't auction a dead horse," said the farmer. "Sure you can," said Chuck. "You just don't tell anyone that it's dead. I sold 500 tickets at $2 a piece, and I made a profit of $998. "Didn't anyone complain?" asked the farmer. "Well, of course, the guy who won," Chuck said, "so I gave him his $2 back." The rumor is that Chuck now works for the Department of Finance for the Canadian government. So I like this story, not because it's hilarious, but because the image of the dead horse is such a potent metaphor. But in case this metaphor is too subtle, or in case you think, oh, the moral of the story is that Chuck was a really clever guy, let me make the point clear. One of our primary values at Shawnigan, and central to our community life together, is the importance of being honest in accepting responsibility for the decisions and judgments we make, especially for the bad decisions and bad judgments. And that's something that I think we do relatively well here, but also it's something that seems to be rarer and rarer in the world at large. Taking responsibility for our actions is definitely not in vogue these days. The result of failing to acknowledge the messes that we all create from time to time is that they become kind of like the dead horse. They don't go away. We either pass them on to someone else to clean up, or they continue to haunt us. And like the horse corpse that won't improve by lying around for a week or so, our bad decisions and poor judgments, when left unacknowledged and undealt with, only get worse. So admitting our mistakes is not just the right thing to do, it is really the only thing to do. There is no viable alternative. Mistakes can get fixed and resolved when we take responsibility for them. The result is not just that we deal with the immediate problem when we accept responsibility for our actions. We also always become just a little bit more mature. We develop a little more character, and we increase our personal integrity every time we do so. So integrity is knowing the right thing to do and doing it. It's as simple as that. If something doesn't feel right, it's almost always because it isn't. We keep getting confronted with choice, make things easy on ourselves and maybe cheat a little, or do the right thing and maybe be faced with having to work a little harder. So this isn't complex, but it isn't easy either. It's just the way it is. It's the way we are. So don't be a Chuck, conniving to turn bad situations to your own advantage. Live this day with real integrity and just notice how you feel at the end of the day. I told you that'd be short. So we're going to try something this morning. We have the prep house has selected a house hymn, He Who Would Valiant Be, which is, I'm not sure what number it is. Somebody can tell me. He Who Would Valiant Be. Number 18. It's a really wonderful hymn, and it's a hymn that the prep house has taken on as their house hymn. But I don't think we've really had the opportunity this year to sing it together. I've kind of been waiting on the prep house to gather up their courage. So what I'm going to suggest is that the prep house, every student who's ever been a part of the prep house community, and the staff together sing the first verse. So I know it's a little intimidating. Just think of yourself as a rock star and just sing out as loud as you can. Okay, shut. I'm going to ask Miss Daniel to, before we sing, to play through the first verse, and then we can hear it. And once she's finished, I'll ask prep house, prep alum, and staff to stand and sing the verse, and after that, the rest of us will stand and sing the subsequent verses. Miss Daniel? bravo. That was wonderful. Please just be seated for a moment. Just speaking of being a pilgrim, some of you have heard perhaps that Miss Agate and I are going to be leading a select group of students on the Camino de Santiago pilgrimage in March. And if you're yearning for an adventure, the Camino is really an adventure of a lifetime. We'll be walking just under 300 kilometers over the course of 12 days through beautiful medieval villages, eating wonderful food and meeting interesting people from all over the world. So if you're interested in that pilgrimage, you don't have to be religious, by the way. Probably at least half the people that walk the Camino are not religious. They do it for other reasons, for cultural reasons, and just to have an adventure, as I say. If you're interested, just let me know over the next couple days, and we'll probably have a meeting very soon about that. So be good pilgrims today, and have a wonderful day.